So is it just us, or did 2025 absolutely fly by? We wanted to take the time to recap what we saw go on in the Naples housing market here in 2025 and share our thoughts as we go into 2026. My name is Elizabeth Hoffmann.
And my name is Jacob Piekarski, and we're the brokers at Bonnycastle Realty. So in 2025, we saw some market fluctuation and some significant variation in market movement depending on location and price segment.
Despite negative headlines and general concerns about the economy and overall market, we actually saw total sales for the total of 2025 increase by 3.4% compared to 2024. We also saw overall new listings for the year only increase slightly by 1.4%.
So at the beginning of 2025, we saw a significant increase in inventory as months of overall inventory climbed to 11.4 months in March of 2025, and it's been steadily been declining since. So we have currently about 8.3 months of inventory, which is 6.7% less than December of 2024.
While days on market increased nearly 27%, our new listing inventory in December, so if we look at December 2025 compared to December 2024, was actually down 19% compared to December 2024, and overall new inventories down 4%. That being said, it's so important to look at inventory at a hyper-local level in terms of both location and type of property and price point. So depending on the price point and type of properties buyers are looking for, there are some segments where there's a lot more to choose from, while where others inventory is much tighter. If we compare, for example, overall sales, we saw condos basically remain flat, while total sales in single-family home sales actually increased 6.7%. But if we look at single-family homes in the Naples Beach area, so that's 34102, 34103, and 34108, we saw the number of sales of single-family homes increase 32.6%, while the median close price increased 17.2% to $2,925,000. The median close price of condos in the Naples Beach area decreased 4.3% to $1.1 million, and total sales increased less than 1%. Single-family homes in the Naples Beach area felt a substantial increase in overall sales. It certainly did not feel like that for sellers last season, as there were nearly 21 months of inventory in the Naples Beach area for single-family homes in March of 2025. And we compare that to now, where inventory has decreased to just over 11 months of inventory of single-family homes. Taking a look at North Naples, so 34109, 34110, and 34119, the picture looks quite different. Right now, there are only 5.9 months of inventory for single-family homes, and we saw the overall median close price decrease 4.6% in 2025 to $975,000, while the median close price for condos decreased 9% to $445,000.
This is in line with what we're seeing if we look at how the market has performed in price points. So overall, we saw the median close price of a single-family homes decrease by 2.8% to $729,000, and condos decreased 7.5% to $448,475. So every price point either remained flat or saw a slight decrease in the overall price point, except the median sales price for transactions above $5 million, which actually saw an increase of 4.5%. We saw the most flurry of activity in properties priced $300,000 and below, which saw a 42.8% increase in closed sales, and transactions above $5 million saw a 16.6% increase. At the end of the season in 2025, we saw total sales were down 8.1% compared to 2024, but a steady increase in buyer activity over the rest of the year caused our overall numbers of transactions to exceed the 2024 levels. So this was largely driven by sellers getting more realistic about their pricing and buyers finding properties they wanted for the price that they felt comfortable at, as well as interest rates improving.
So Jake, one of the questions I've been asked is, what is going on with international buyers and homeowners, and how is that having an impact on our market, if any? We know that RSW saw 11,154,000 visitors in 2025, a more than 1% increase compared to 2024, but this was largely driven by domestic travel.
That's a great question, and focusing on our biggest snowbird population, our Canadians. In May 2025, it was reported that Canadian tourism declined by 3.4% in Q1 2025 compared to 2024. So by Q3, Visit Florida reported that Canadian visitation was down 15% compared to Q3 in 2024. So it'll remain to be seen if and how this impacts our housing and rental markets and overall visitation in 2026, but there was a noticeable decline over the course of the year.
What other trends are you keeping a close eye on?
Well, FEMA is going to be releasing new flood maps in the latter part of 2026, and we do expect this to impact Collier and Lee counties and could impact rates for homeowners. Over the past few years, we've seen flood maps change and some properties being taken out of a flood zone, while others are increasing their base flood elevation. We've even seen newer homes that are no longer to the newest required base flood elevations. We'll also be following insurance as more carriers have re-entered the market, and that's really helped homeowners have a lot more options. I'll also be continuing to follow condo regulations and requirements. It's been a big year for that. The Naples condo market went through a real adjustment with the new structural and reserve requirements, and that created a lot of hesitation early on, but we're starting to see it stabilize. January pendings sales rose from 345 last year to 458 this year, and months of supply actually declined by about a month. So with pricing only slightly lower and more clarity around association financials, the condo segment is beginning to feel a lot more balanced than it did this time last year. Well, throughout 2025, rates hovered in the mid 6% range, and there was hesitation early on, but we're seeing that buyers have gradually recalibrated. As the years progressed, we stopped seeing the same, sort of pause that followed earlier rate spikes. Looking ahead, if rates remain relatively stable, the market should continue operating at this more measured, steady pace.
We are definitely seeing an increase in buyer activity as the number of sales in the latter part of the year helped us outpace our total 2024 sales. We are seeing that total number of pending sales are up 19% compared to December 24, and overall sales are up 29% compared to December 24. That's signaling that the buyers are here and ready to buy if the property is priced well. We see such variation depending on the type of property, location, and price point. And that's why, I always reiterate, it's so important to focus on the hyperlocal area, for sellers to price their properties well and to focus on differentiating themselves from the competition. We've had a really busy start to 2026, and we're seeing some properties go in multiple offers while others are selling well under list price.
Thank you for tuning in, and keep following us for our regular market updates and the newest topics we're following.